personality, I think,
Yeah.
is a good word for it. Because everybody's got one, and you see some people are so wimpy.
Yeah.
They just have no personality.
Yeah.
And you think, how can they even get through life without some of that?
My grandmother was born and raised on the far south side of Chicago. And when she was a young woman, she was a jazz singer and a dancer at the Trianon Ballroom. And she modeled a little bit here and there.
You know, I really thought I was big damn deal because I belonged to the 400 Club at Trianon. Well, yeah, that was really big deal. And we used to have these classes where the farmers from like Indiana would be the guys that we'd pair up, and then we'd have to do the step the instructor showed us, and we'd dance around the ballroom and leave them at the end, and then we'd start all over again. But these farmers helped me out here. These farmers would come and they'd be doing, you know, this. There was, I don't know what the hell they were doing.
My grandfather was a farmer in western Kansas. And during World War II, when it was kind of the off-season for the farm, he went to Chicago to work in a factory.
Well, we were all excited because this young man was coming, and there were no young men around anymore, you know. And pretty soon the whisper went down, there he is, that guy's here. You know, that guy's here. So I turned around I'll tell you, I turned around to look, and he was way down at that end, and he had his back to me. He actually had his back to me. And I stood there, and I was enveloped in the idea that this is mine. This is mine.
When he had to go back to Kansas to work on the farm, she broke up with him in a letter. And the day he got the letter, he called her, and she agreed in that moment to just pick up and move her life from Chicago to Kansas to marry him. She just had to go with her gut. Hayes is a tiny little town, so when my grandma moved, she really had to have gone through some amount of culture shock. She joined all of the clubs that she found interesting, and she enrolled in talent shows, and she was very active in the community. And when my grandfather left the farm and became a police officer and then eventually sheriff, she really took on the role of the sheriff's wife. And in towns of that size during that time, that meant she lived in the courthouse, and she cooked for the inmates. The inmates ate what the family ate every night. So the inmates ate well. My grandmother had really kind of built her life being my grandfather's wife. So when he died, I think she just kind of didn't know what she was going to do next. She picked up and moved again to Longmont, Colorado to be closer to my parents, and she just kind of threw herself into the community there too. She had a group of friends. They played pool, they went dancing, they had like ladies' luncheons. She got to hang out with my family. She got to be around her great-grandchildren.
Oh, you got a nice clean butt. Oh, is that nice to have a clean butt? That is so nice to have a clean butt. I know it. I like a clean butt too.
If you had met my grandmother on the day of my wedding, you would have thought she was going to live to be 110. I think she kind of just approached having cancer like she approached everything else in life, you know. It is what it is, and now I'm just gonna deal with it.
If you're young at heart, pay attention to these words. It's hard to find, to be narrow of mind.
From my grandmother, I got my name, my sass, my cackle, my love of music and dance. And I got a real appreciation for the idea that you can probably handle anything that life throws at you, so long as you have the right attitude.
You have a head start if you are